Welcome back to the Broker Power Up podcast, the AIME podcast for strategies, stories, and insights to help you close more loans. I'm Tommy Golightly, joined by Jonathon Haddad.
We're back again, my friend.
We're back. We're back. We have a lot going on today. We have the Broker Buzz, where we dive into the top posts of the week in the Brokers Are Best Facebook group and discuss what's trending, what's working, and what you need to know. Then we're going to go into a sales pitch training where John teaches me and you all how to be a better salesman. And then we're going to wrap things up with story time with John. I've heard this story. It is a great story. I love this story. You're going to enjoy it. But first, how we start every podcast is a fortune cookie. And it's my job to open the fortune cookie this week. So let's see what we got. Is it a Tommy fortune cookie or is it a John fortune cookie?
I'm ready.
Be prepared to cherish moments with loved ones. This is a me.
It's go for it. Go for it.
Yeah, I won't go into it too deep, but I have a lot of family stuff going on right now. So that hits real hard. Yeah, not the time or place to go through that.
No, you're good. You know, I if you don't mind, on my end, it's people tell you all the time, you know, like cherish your time, spend time with the loved ones. I've had kids recently, so they've told me like it's gonna fly by. And it's hard. It is so hard, as I'm sure you know, and you want to be there more often and you want to do more. But you have a lot of things going on in your life too. And the biggest area for me that I'm working on right now is being present. And I keep trying to tell myself, you know, like, what did you need when you were younger? Did you need more of something when you were younger? Like, that's the experience my kids are having. And I don't know, we won't get into detail with what you're dealing with, but it's a lot of that, right? It's a lot of questions. It's a lot of like, I wish I would have, I wish I could. You don't want to have regrets. That's one thing for sure that I'm at in my life. And I do everything in my power. Even though there's days where it's like, I don't want to get out of bed. You know, it's like, oh God, here we go. But at the end of the day, the loved ones and being prepared for them and spending the time with them and not having the regrets, I think is such a underlooked at piece of this journey that we call life. So I appreciate that.
Thank you. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. And I can't wait for the ad break. So this is the first time I get to eat the cookie.
Yes.
So, all right, let's get into the broker buzz. We have some really fun topics this week. We're going to start with the first one. Can we, as mortgage brokers, send mass email marketing to real estate agents that didn't opt into our database to introduce ourselves and services, since they are also business owners?
So this is very state specific. Every state has different laws on this. So I'm not going to pretend to be an attorney. I'm not going to go down that path with you. I will give you suggestions and tips, though, because I don't want to leave you with nothing. I have built a really large database of real estate agents that I communicate with. The easiest way to do it is I always call just for an email. And just to give you an idea. So what I used to do when I first started, my business, it was during COVID. When I got into the purchase business, I worked in retail for 6.5 years. I was direct to consumer. And then when I got to the broker space, I had to start meeting people and connecting with agents and doing all this stuff. So what I started doing is I said, okay, how can I build a big book of business? I said, okay, what do I know a lot about? Mortgage guidelines. So I started this series called Did You Know? And I got up to about almost 100 real estate agents. I still have them saved, actually. So I might be able to share one of them here, Tommy, if we get a couple of minutes while I pull this up. So I got to go find the archive here. I go to my inbox. Did you know? Here they are. So in these Did You Knows, what I would do is I would put together just a random fact every week, and I would send them to my real estate agents. So I would send them to my real estate agents, and here's actually an example of one here. Well, you can see some of the emails, but I don't want to, you know what? You can edit that out when I need to. All right, cool. You can edit the top names. Thanks. All right. So here's just one example of what that looks like. But I would always have a lot of fun with there. So what I started doing is I would send these Did You Know emails out. So this one here, almost halfway through July, does anyone else keep forgetting what day it is? This list continues to grow with incredible realtors and other mortgage brokers. 2 fun facts for you today. Lenders are at capacities. Jumbo loans are back. You can even see I gave a hint at the bottom where I say jumbo loans are back. How to find business. If I were you as an agent, I would go to your broker and ask them to pull up deals over the last 3 months that are over the county loan limits. So for those that recall, during COVID, we lost jumbo loans up front. We couldn't originate them because people were so nervous that the market was crashing. They didn't know what was going to happen next. So I started putting this email together, and then every week I would just call agents. Hey, my name's Jonathon Haddad, been in the space 10 years. I'm sure you already work with somebody. I'm not here to step on toes. The environment's changing all the time. I just love your email address. I'm updating realtors and mortgage brokers every single week. May I have your email address? Yeah, sure. It's right here. Awesome. Thank you so much, Tommy. I appreciate you. From there, I'd add them on Facebook, Instagram. I'd follow them, do the whole thing there and tag. But then every week I kept adding to this list. And then what started happening is these agents start replying to these products I would send. It took about 8 weeks to get my first response. And then finally I got a response about manufactured homes. So there's so many ways to do what you're asking. I personally, like, think about it. Are you opening the emails when you're being solicited, but you never asked for it? I'm just curious. Like, and again,
I mark them as read. I do the swipe marked as read.
So not only are you potentially putting yourself in jeopardy of being non-compliant in your state, you're also reaching out to people that don't want to reply to you because they don't want to be solicited, just like you don't. So I'm giving you a different strategy. I would try something new, try something different. Check with your local officials on this. Reach out to your compliance teams if you have any. AIME has some awesome partnerships, strategic compliance partners, huge value add that you can reach out to them and ask them directly as well. But it's state specific. I would shy away from it. Just make the phone calls. You can make 10 calls a day. I'm telling you, I was like 80% clip. 8 out of 10 of these client or realtors were giving me their emails. Really simple, really short, to the point, off the phone. You get it, you upload it, you're good to go.
Yeah, and I really like that because something that we've talked about on a couple of these episodes now is providing value. And basically, you're just offering value off the bat.
Right away.
Like, this email is a consistent reminder of just value.
You got to see it. Like, Tommy, it's so extensive, and people would, like, my company here, they would laugh at first. And then all of a sudden I'm getting traction. I'm 20 weeks into it. And then I got so busy, I couldn't even do the email anymore after 20 straight weeks of it. But it's cool because I save it and I go back and look at how I was already in my dad era before I had kids. Like, some of the jokes I would say, I'm busier than ketchup or than mustard trying to catch up, like just having so much fun with it. Jokes. But that's what you can do. So just something simple there. Hope that helps.
Cool. Yeah, absolutely. Let's jump into our last question for the Broker Buzz. We have Trigger Leads News Flash. Gonna be a fun one. Soft pulls will now result in trigger leads. The client did opt out pre-screen Friday. I did a soft pull Monday, and she told me she was starting to get calls Monday morning. We're no longer safe with just a soft pull. My old strategy was opt out and soft pull on prequal, and then hard pull when in escrow. Usually plenty of time for the opt out to work its magic. What can I do now?
So this is good. We used to work triggers back in the day. Obviously, people know I got lambasted for it when I initially got rolled out. So we used to go down this path. And here's what I'm going to tell you when it was coming to our direct to consumer. Okay. I don't believe it's tied to the soft pull directly. There were other angles and things that you could do. So number one, the first thing I'll tell you is this. A lot of the times your consumer is actually pulling credit with somebody else and not telling you. That's actually pops up more than you could possibly believe. More times than not, it is really fascinating. There's actually a way for you to gather that data. It is expensive. We were doing it and you can literally see who they were pulling their credit with. The other piece of it though is this. It's not on the soft pull. It's called predictive buying. So the credit bureaus will sell information on clients that might be looking to purchase a home based on specific key factors that you can pay for and ask for. So it's not even based off them pulling the score. It's based on certain attributes that basically indicate this potential consumer, if the credit bureau has their information, which they do on everybody, they can see, and it'll basically say the likelihood that they're looking to purchase is X amount based off of certain things that they're doing with their credit report and certain things that they're looking at. That's real data that is sold by the credit bureaus that you absolutely can buy. And there's a lot of companies continuing to buy that because, well, it's not illegal to buy it. So I don't believe it's the soft pull that's triggering what you're talking about. I believe it's the predictive analytics that the bureaus are selling now on the back end when it comes to your consumer. So pay very close attention to that. It's a real thing. I'm just being upfront with you. Don't shoot the messenger. This is just how things come across. So I do all self-gen business. Me personally, my outside sales, we're all self-gen business as well. We deal with it. We're as dialed in as we can with the consumer. One of the biggest areas is downplaying it. So whenever I'm on the phone, I don't make it a big deal. I just say something like this. I say, Tommy, look, here's what's going to happen. Everybody and their mother is going to attempt to get a hold of you before you close this loan and try and take your loan away from me to go work with them. All right. Now, here's what they're going to do in the event that they do call you. They're going to promise you the moon and the stars. They're going to undercut left and right as often as possible. I'm just curious, what's your tolerance for pain? The clients are always, what? What are you talking about? I just want to know, what's your tolerance for pain? Because I can be undercut by $500. I can be undercut by an eighth in interest rate. I feel very great about the opportunity I'm putting in front of you. I have over 1,300 Google reviews at 4.9 stars, and I know I'm putting you in the best position possible. But what's your tolerance for pain? I want to understand. Like, are you going to be taking a bunch of these calls? Are you going to be going through a lot of those conversations? The clients are always taken back by it. I love addressing it that way. I love not making it that big of a deal and moving on from it. But I love also addressing the elephant in the room and making sure my consumers understand. But this is a thing. It's not tied to the soft pull. It is tied to predictive analytics because the bureaus have information on every single one of us. Listening to this, every single one of us that does a loan, you know they have everything on you. So with machine learning, with AI improving, I think you'll see a lot more of this unless the bills or reforms continue to happen. So that's my take on that.
Cool. No, yeah, I think you hit it spot on. I mean, with technology evolving, if regulation doesn't keep up, things are it's gonna be weird. It's gonna be a weird time. Because I remember when I was going through the home buying process, the amount of calls and stuff like that I got back in 21, it was annoying. I had to my phone, I kept it on silent. Like I usually always keep it on vibrate, but I kept it on silent because it was just,
it's so overwhelming.
Yeah.
And I get it. Like I get that aspect of it. That's another conversation for a different day, obviously.
Oh, absolutely.
There is good and bad. The problem is the abusive ones, right? That are just hammering away. So I get it. It happens. Like it's just part of the job. It's not illegal. And so we just got to learn to continue to navigate through it.
Cool. And it happens with all kinds of things. It's not just mortgages.
Oh, no.
It's multi
this is
industry.
auto, this is credit cards, this is life insurance.
When I want to go look at the new Subarus, I go in an incognito window.
You have
I have to because I want to go see because I like cars, so I like to look at the new specs and see what's going on. But I don't want anyone thinking I'm buying a new car.
We get no money from this, but I'm going to plug in. I use DuckDuckGo. For those that don't know, it's like you could install it as an extension or you can download it on your phone. But basically, it's a web browser that protects what you're searching, so people can't track the cookies and all the stuff. So it helps with the marketing that comes your way. I do the same thing you do. I'm just a weird. Yeah, I know I know they already have it, but I'm just weird. I
know the system, so I try and avoid it. Yeah. But cool. Let's take an ad read from our membership here, and then we'll be back with the sales training. And I'm going to eat that fortune cookie. Be right back.
Are you a wholesale mortgage professional? Well, then the very first thing you need is a community to help you and your business grow. With AIME membership, your community is right here. Joining our community means never navigating the market alone or operating without a safety net ever again. We are 16,000 members strong of united wholesale professionals. From rookies to top-ranking originators, all dedicated to supporting each other's success so we can grow together. Beyond entry to the best community in the mortgage industry, AIME membership gives you the resources, tools, guidance, discounts, services, and support that help you and your wholesale business grow, thrive, and most importantly, close more loans. AIME membership connects you with leading wholesale lenders and vendors, offering you exclusive access, services, and discounts that save you more money while helping you make more money. Never get stuck on a loan again with our lender escalation program. Grow your network and skills with the wholesale industry's best conferences and networking events. Get the strategies and skills of top originators and industry innovators with AIME's cutting-edge wholesale mortgage education, resources, and content. AIME offers all of this and more, starting at a low price of $19.99 a month. You heard it here first, couple cups of Starbucks coffee. For you to learn more and get started, all you have to do is visit aimegroup.com, AIME group.com /membership. Your community is waiting.
All right. And I'm waiting to become a better salesman. John, what do we got today?
So that's so becoming a better sales professional. All right. Good segue, by the way. We're getting
even
there.
off the ads, right?
I do. We're picking up, man. We are picking up. So here's the thing. Open-ended questions. What an underutilized tool. And the reason I believe this happens to a lot of salespeople is we're thinking about ourselves the majority of the time on the call, as opposed to the consumer. There are certain situations where I get it. You should ask a yes, no question. But in most situations, you should not be asking yes or no questions. You just shouldn't be. It's not a sales. You're an order taker. I worked at Buffalo Wild Wings for years. It's part of the story I'll tell you at the end, right? The way you upsell, the way we spoke, all of that has to do with open-ended questions and not just saying a question that's a no. So, for example, asking something like, are you happy with your current lender?
I guess so.
Sure. As opposed to, walk me through what's important to you when it comes to making a decision on the lender that we put you with for you and your family. What do you like or don't like currently about the lender that you service, that's servicing your loan on this potential refinance?
For me, I don't know. I mean, I feel like it's a website I go to. I pay my bill every month and pay my mortgage, and I don't know what could be better or worse.
So it's fair. So now, Tommy, what this does is, and even if that's the answer, what this?
Oh yeah, I was just giving you.
No, and what this does for us is it opens the door. Okay, so just to be on the same page, that's not really something that's picky to you.
No.
All right, perfect. So now we know it's not really going to be about that for you and your family. So let's keep taking this conversation further. A lot of people, okay, what do you just tell me? Do you like what you do for work?
Yeah,
No.
I love it.
Yes. Again, it's still not open-ended, even though it's a genuine question, a nice question, not open-ended. Ready? Here's an easy one. I'm going to go through 5 or 6 of these with you. And I want to reframe your mind. It's all about reframing questions. And here's the cool part. The coolest thing now is, you know how easy this is? You have ChatGPT. John, I'm not creative. I can't think of it. I don't have the money to pay for coaching. Well, I have something for you that's free. And you can use it. So I want to give you just additional examples of this, okay? So here's one. Is price the most important factor for you? Yeah.
The house? Yeah.
So
bad
yes
location.
Question. Not good.
Yeah.
What factors are most important to you when it comes to choosing the lender that you want to work with?
Price.
Now walk me through why it's pricing. Do you see what we did there, Tommy?
Sure. I'd say, I mean, because it's the only thing that I connect with my involvement with the lender.
And that's okay. The difference is it's not a yes or no. Is price the most important factor for you? Yes. Okay, thanks. There's nowhere for me to go.
Yeah.
I'm stuck.
You have to start over.
Okay. So now I know I have to present you the cheapest deal because you just said, yeah. As opposed to what factors are most important for you and your family when picking a lender. Even if they now say, you know what, pricing. Awesome. I'm glad you brought that up. I know pricing is going to be a big factor into it. Have you spent any time thinking about the process itself and the ease of process? I haven't. Okay. So do you want me to find a good mix of process and ease and pricing? Or is your only focus going to be pricing? If it's just going to be pricing, just know the lender that we choose might just be a little bit slower when it comes to getting this done. And you might be a little bit more of a lift on your end when it comes to documents. It's absolutely can get done. We work with incredible lenders. I just want to make sure you and I are on the same page. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so it'd be a little bit more work up front, but then I'm happy to put a little more work up front for a better price in the long term.
Now I'm educating the consumer. I'm not telling, and they're not telling me what they want.
Because I didn't know. Yeah.
Bingo. You didn't know. But if I would have just said, and you said, yes, pricing, most important thing. Yes. Is price the most important factor? Yes. Okay. Are you sure? Yeah. You just asked. Yes. It doesn't make sense. So don't pin yourself in that corner. Here's another one. I love this one. Okay. Refinances. People want to talk to their spouse, significant other all the time. You know the amount of times people don't ask about this question? Here's what they do. Are you the decision maker?
Yeah. I had I had a window salesman come to the door the other day, and they were just like, "Are you the decision maker in the house?"
There it is. How did it make you feel?
And it gave me the out because I was like, "No, my wife is.
She's not here." Yes, exactly my point, Tommy. That's exactly.
I use it all whenever a salesman comes. I'm just like, "No, I'm not the decision maker."
Dude, I do. I had painters come by my house. Same thing the other day. You know, same thing. Hey, we're wondering if we can do. Oh, my wife handles all that. Oh, okay, thanks. And they left.
Yeah, that's what happened. Yeah, they just left.
So now, instead of that question, here's what I do. I like to set it up. All right? And it is important. Hey, Tommy, before we keep moving forward, you know, something I know that's super important. I know you're married like you talked about. Is this a conversation you've had with your wife, or are we going to be surprising her and you're going to end up sleeping on the couch? Ha, 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 ha.
We talk about everything.
Oh, perfect. Okay, so like me, you and your wife talk about everything. So what goals did the two of you have when it came to the potential refinance? What's the most important? Do you guys look at your bank account every month and say, wow, we have so much additional cash, we can probably pay this house off faster? Or do you look at your bank account and go, man, I wish we had a couple of extra dollars to save? Walk me through.
That's a good way of framing.
I love your face because you're like, wow.
Then you know where they're gonna. I know where you're gonna lead me next.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
If you're actually talking about it, I'm allowed to ask that question.
It gets the person thinking about it.
It does. And I saw your face. You smiled a little bit. Yes, Tommy, I'm good at sales. You know, like, I just saw your face like, oh shit.
Oh, okay.
So that's exactly my point with open-ended questions. So for those of you listening, how good are your open-ended questions? Mine are good. They're not great. I got to get better. I still work on them. I'm still working on improving. But guys, I go through this daily. We go through our huddles with this. We don't stop talking about this. So I'm going to give you one more, okay?
Sure.
One more and we'll move on. Here's one that people do. Ready? Are you looking to buy a home soon?
No.
Are you looking to buy a home soon? Tommy, let me ask you something. I know things aren't easy. I understand that you have to go shop and you have to find everything, but ideally, in your head, what is a good timeline for you and your family on wanting to actually move forward with this? Because right now we're going to be really excited, which is awesome. But realistically, what have you and your wife talked about from a realistic timeline on you wanting to actually get into a home for you and your family?
Yeah, because then that opens the door for me to discuss timelines and finances along the timeline, right? So like where we are looking, where we're at now, where we're looking to be, and how do we get there?
Yeah, Tommy, this is all part of building the opportunity and team. This isn't just for sales or mortgages this is anything. This is anything. This is building relationships with people in your life. You know, like even for example, Tommy, right? Tommy and I have been building an awesome relationship. Tommy's marketing. He knows a lot more than I do about the marketing side of things and how things work. So as opposed to me saying, Tommy, you like marketing? Hey, Tommy, what are 2 or 3 things you've learned that you know today that you wish you would have known 5 years about marketing and driving in potential opportunities and getting people to click on a button and register for like a webinar? What have you learned 2 or 3 things that are different today between the first time you started doing it that you wish you would have known earlier? How's that question, Tommy?
It makes me think of a lot of salt.
Okay. And what? How did I do that? It's not like I know your business. I don't know.
No,
I don't know
no,
about what you do. All I
no, because
understand is the question. I know how to frame my questions to pull something from you that no one else is pulling from you.
yeah.
I am a pattern interrupt kind of guy. How's your day? Good. No, let me reframe. I'm so sorry about that. What's one thing you hated about yesterday and one thing you absolutely loved? Uh, um, oh, I
then you
hated
can kind
this.
of that's if you present an either or, does that give you the salesman to choose a path? Like it's almost like a fork. Like if you give them you're basically asking for two answers, right? So then you get to pick which path you go down.
Well,
The
it's just a layer of onions that you're peeling one way or another. So even of that, because I do ask that question, John, I hated this about yesterday. Huh? Why did you hate it so much? Like, why did it invoke that emotion in you where you just hated it? Do you believe there was a way you could have avoided it altogether yesterday? Do you think this is something that'll continue to pop up and become reoccurring? Do you think it's something you need to learn how to get in front of right now? What do you think it'll mean to you and your family if you don't learn how to fix this over the next 3 months? That's just me. You see how fast I'm going? That's just and that's practice. And that's not like sales. That's just me being a genuinely curious person. And it's allowed me to be really good at sales because of how
yeah.
curious I am. And that's practice. There's no script. That's just me talking out loud. So I hope that helps. I know there's a lot in this one, but y'all open-ended questions are so under leverage, it drives me crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and then tying back and actually answering the marketing question, if anyone's curious, less is more is what I've learned.
Keep going.
We used to, if you noticed on AIME socials, we used to post when things do get busy. We're still there. We're posting 3 times a day. We got one in the morning, one at noon, one in the afternoon. But when things get too hectic, things cannibalize each other. And so basically, the more you're putting out, the less reach each individual post is going to have. And the amount of time that I was spending crafting the copy and the graphics and everything, the more things we would put out, the less it would actually reach people. And so less is more of shorter social copy so that it's actually read and digested, using emojis to help shorten it and basically visualize what I'm asking in the call to action, and making sure it's short enough that people actually read it. And then in addition to that, not posting as much or spacing them out as much as possible to allow for more breathing room so you're not cannibalizing your own work. It's not that it wasn't a good post. It's like you can create the best post, but if you're creating the best post 5 times a day, just your level of effort towards your level of uh, ROI is just way out of whack. So there is a balance in between to keep one, help keep your sanity, but also two, just be better. So
Tommy, that was so you spent over a minute
mhm.
answering that, and you could tell it's
I
really,
really wanted to answer that
but
question.
you see my point though?
Yeah.
Do you
Yeah.
see my point?
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
and that's why I was smiling the whole time because I'm like, I know, I could see it on your face that you're like, yo, I want to answer that question.
I
That's a
needed to I
dialed in
needed to
question.
extrapolate on salt
Yeah,
because I was so salty when I found that out because I was just like, wait, I've been doing this, putting so much effort in. Okay.
no,
Now, but
but that's Tommy. That's it. That's literally my job now. I do the same thing, but with my clients, and I can do it with anybody in any profession. I genuinely care. I'm a curious person. People always ask me, like, random stuff about so many different things. Yes, because I've been asking questions to so many people that do random things. I just like to. I'm just curious. So, open-ended questions. Learn how to do them. Open up the door to allow yourself more opportunity to work with people and have them sell you on why they want the house. Let them sell you on it. Don't sell them. That's the best sales advice I can give you when it comes to open-ended questions.
and if you want to get into some networking, we have some Unify events coming up. So we're going to roll an ad for Unify, take a listen, get close, scan the QR code, find and see if there is one near you, and join us there. We'll be right back.
If you're an independent mortgage broker, real estate pro, or homeownership advocate looking to connect with like-minded professionals, AIME is here to give back. If you're an independent mortgage broker, real estate pro, or homeownership advocate looking to connect with like-minded professionals, we have the perfect event for you. AIME is proud to bring you Unify, completely covered by AIME directly. Unify is AIME's local networking and education series designed to help you and your community build more referral relationships to grow your business together. Each event offers exclusive content focused on a topic shaping the mortgage industry with brief but powerful presentations from experts who have been in your shoes. Expect high-energy networking with real connections happening with real conversations. Plus, we're raffling off some pretty unique prizes at each and every event. Join the AIME's wholesale mortgage community, real estate professionals, and yes, even retail mortgage professionals. We want you there as well, because we know that we can make a difference in our local communities by connecting and having conversations together. This isn't just another event. This is where community meets opportunity. Whether you're looking for business strategies or the right people to help you level up, Unify delivers. Register today and join us for free in Dallas, Texas on March 25th and Phoenix, Arizona on March 27th, with many more locations to come. Just go to unify.aimgroup.com to get started. Now hurry up, spots are limited. Don't miss your chance to be part of something bigger.
All right, and we're back with a wild story time with John. So I'm going to hop in the back, take a listen, and I'll be back to close things out when we're done. Take it away, John.
All right. Story time. The little things matter. I used to work at Buffalo Wild Wings for many years. I've told this story before. I was there back when the chicken wings were actually affordable, Tuesdays and Thursdays. Boneless wings, bone-in wings. I'll never forget the day chicken went up. Our manager came in. There was a whole meeting. It's a real thing that happened. It was a chicken shortage, and chicken prices skyrocketed. I ended up bartending, and I loved bartending. And I've always been a very competitive person. So majority of the bartenders at Buffalo Wild Wings that I worked at were ladies. And I would always get very competitive with them. And we'd always have a competition who can get the most tips and who can build the most regular. So when I first got promoted to being a bartender, I would show them the lay of the land. And they would tell me, hey, here's a regular, here's someone that comes in, and here's how much this person tips, here's how much this person tips. So then they told me about this guy that comes in every single Friday, like clockwork, at 1:30 in the morning, right before close. Harmless guy. He's one of those guys that is a bar regular. And you all know what I'm talking about. Goes outside for smoke breaks, comes back in smelling like Marble Whites, having their little beers, just friendly, no bother, like just one of those human beings. Now, this person we're gonna call Steve, just to make it easier so I don't get anybody in trouble. So Steve would come in at 1:30 like clockwork, and the girls, they would tell me, they said, John, this guy, most he ever tips is $2, but he's super easy. He gets the same 6 chicken wings. He has 2 beers, and he plays the same 3 songs on the jukebox. He'll leave right at about 2:15 once you're closing out the bar, but he's not going to bother you. He'll say hi, say hello. He's friendly. So sure enough, he comes in. Steve walks in the door. Exactly what they said. He sits down, says hello, gets his first beer, stands up, walks to the jukebox, picks his 3 songs, comes back, sits down, order his chicken wings, and then he would order his second beer. He'd wait. He'd tip me my $2. He'd get up. He'd leave. And he did this like clockwork. No big deal. I didn't think anything of it. Finally, one day, I was working with one of the other colleagues that I had, and she was kind of challenging me. She was like, yeah, I told you, $2. That's the most he's going to do. We tried to tell you he's not going to go more. So I looked at her and I said, I think I can get more. Like, I think I can get more. Even if it's 50 cents or $1, like, I'm going to get more. She just laughed. She said, all right, whatever. So that next Friday, I got super prepared. After about 2 months of this back and forth with Steve, I said to myself, I'm going to find a way to, even if I can get a quarter more, I just want to prove to her that I had the ability to find more opportunity. So one Friday before Steve gets in there, I said to myself, preparation is key, my friends. So before Steve walks in at about 1:28 in the morning, I walk over to the jukebox and I selected his 3 songs that I knew he was going to play, the same 3 every Friday. So he walks in, he comes up to the bar and he orders his beer. Before I turned around, I started the play button on the jukebox and the first song starts playing. He looked at me. I said, don't worry, your first 3 songs, they're ready to play. I already got them set up. So he smiles. Hey, Steve, don't worry. I already put in your order for your 6 wings. And the last thing that Steve would always do is he wanted his second beer when he had a quarter left of his first one and when his wings came out. So before he even said a word, his chicken wings came out. He was a quarter of the way done with his first beer. I had turned around and had a second beer right in front of him and ready. He gave me a smirk that I've never seen before. He laughed. We joked. Hey, thank you. I appreciate that, is what he told me. I've been coming here for a long time. No one's ever done that for me. So thank you. So yeah, no problem, Steve. Anytime. Sure enough, my tip went from $2 to $5. And every single Friday for the next 2 years, Steve left me $5 and not $2. I made $3 extra every Friday for 2 straight years. 104 weeks. I made an extra $3 a week because I focused on the little things. And I tried to do something different that nobody else did. So what are you doing to separate yourself in your community? Or are you one of the loan officers that closes early, closes on time, fast underwriting process? My job as a bartender was to pour the beer. My job as a bartender was to put in the order. That is my job. What I did was deeper than my job. I went out of my way, clicked 3 songs on a jukebox. It took me 45 seconds. I had his beer ready. I had to be prepared for when his first beer was going to be done. I had to be extra aware than I normally am. Not sure what's wrong with that. Not sure what's wrong with being a little more aware every day. How aware are you of the extra things that you're doing for the people that need you the most? What are you doing to separate yourself? $3 a week for 2 straight years adds up. Do you think the same way? Or are you focusing on the short-sightedness? I appreciate you all. That is my story. The little things matter.
So, why does Batman beat Superman every time?
Robin.
He's prepared. He has it on his belt. He's prepared. That's what I took away from that story. And the acknowledgement of Steve's behavior. Steve felt seen and Steve felt heard.
And that's all some people need, Tommy. Like
Yeah.
It
really is. It goes a long way.
I missed my bad on the Batman thing. I missed it.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
I was ready for. I was like, Rob.
It was a deep cut.
Sidekick.
It was a deep cut.
Sidekick. I was like, I love Rob. He's a huge difference. Alfred, Robin. No, and you're Tommy. That's it, right? Like,
yeah.
I met him where he's at. I didn't ask him to meet me where I'm at. You know, I'm the one. At the end of the day, I'm making money from this, right? And same thing for you. And I'm making a lot more than $3 extra a week now. I can tell you that much. Yeah. And I know you all are as well. So I appreciate that. And you're spot on.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for tuning into this episode of the Broker Power Up podcast. If you found today's tips helpful, do us a favor. Hit the like button. Let us know you enjoyed it, which helps even more people see this content. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and ring the bell to get notified every time we drop new content. Share this video with fellow brokers who could use a power up. And remember to lead by example, to lift each other up, to grow together, and most importantly, close more loans. Until next time, keep powering up.
Take care.